grown since then. That sounds about right, doesn't it? This year, more than 1,000 spectators are on hand. Each team has 3 drivers who swap out to prevent fatigue. They also have support engineers in the pit stops who help with refueling and technical problems. As the night goes along, the pit stops become more frequent. Scores of breakdowns ensued. In the end, 5-time champions Northerners Kick Grass couldn't hold on, and a team from Luxembourg, whose name we cannot say on air, took the checkered flag, completing 430 laps in the allotted 12 hours.
Wow.
You could tell this was hatched in a bar one night, this idea.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to them. That's our time for now. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, the debate surrounding the name of a gallery in Memorial Union is coming to an end. We'll tell you what changes are being made.
Plus, a committee in DeForest is meeting to decide the fate of its chief of police.
And until the Wisconsin primary election, we'll tell you about the Republican candidates for U.S. Senate.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. A month-long controversy comes to a close. The Porter Butts Art Gallery at Memorial Union has angered some students from a perceived belief that it was named after someone who belonged to the Knights of the KKK.
But after hearing from both sides, the union has decided to relocate the tribute and rename the gallery after clarifying the true history behind it. Jamie Perez spoke with both the union and Porter's daughters this afternoon to hear what the resolution is and how we got there. Jamie?
Right, so this story has quite a lot of history behind it, quite literally. The violence in Charlottesville last year is the pebble that started this avalanche, causing more places to research historically named places. Well, both sides that I spoke with today say they're happy with the plans going forward. It respects the students' wishes and also respects the contributions made by Porter during his time at the UW-Madison for almost 100 years ago.
This gallery has been around the UW campus for decades. Porter Butts was a student leader here, a member of a social group called the Ku Klux Klan, an unfortunate naming with no actual association with the violent national group.
It had the name KKK, but it had no association or affiliation whatsoever with the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
That's Porter's daughter. She's been listening to student concerns over having their art gallery named after a man who they believed was associated with a racist group.
Why it had that strange name, we don't know.
Contrary to what some students formerly believed, Porter actually worked to change the name of the group.
He did not like the name. He did not like the Ku Klux Klan, and he worked with his class to change the name to Tumas.
A difficult battle to prove the naming of the gallery did not have a violent background.
This was a difficult situation for us to try to show, who he really was then.
After several meetings, they came to an agreement to rename this gallery and to pay tribute to Porter somewhere else.
So you might be wondering, well, the gallery isn't going away, the name isn't going away, they're just relocating his tribute to another part of the building. Well, the difference is that students no longer have to walk into this space and feel the emotions that they feel.
And they get to tell the whole story of Porter and his contributions.
I just want to make sure the full story was told somewhere, and the students agreed with that the full story does need to be told somewhere. We can't erase history, right?
A historical move, but still leaves a bigger question at hand.
I understand that given the current climate, taking my grandfather's name down will appease some of the pain and the upset on the outside that students are experiencing, but it really is a symptom for a deeper
The Porter Butts Gallery will be renamed the Main Gallery, and they still don't have a set location where the new kiosk named after Porter will be placed, but it will still give tribute to all the contributions that he did make at the university.
Hopefully all sides are satisfied now.
Exactly.
All right, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is in the Weather Center. Gary?
Well, we've had a fair amount of cloud cover today and some showers as well. That has held temperatures down, but getting more sunshine back in the forecast for tomorrow will warm our temperatures up. As we take a look at visible cloud tracking, you can see plenty of clouds. There are some showers and thunderstorms bubbling up across Minnesota and Iowa. They'll weaken as they push into Wisconsin, but still can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, at least through the evening hours. But I think after maybe about 9 or 10 o'clock, most of the precipitation should wind down pretty quickly. Otherwise, across southern Wisconsin, nothing is imminent, but you can see some thunderstorms approaching the Mississippi River from the west. Low temperatures this morning started out right around 60 degrees. A few places up to the north of Madison were in the upper 50s. To the south and east, temperatures were in the middle 60s. Current temperatures, again, held down because of cloud cover, generally in the 70s. A few places right now in the 60s where they're getting some rain. And as we take a look at dew points, they're still in the mid 60s to around 70s. So probably see some areas of fog form overnight. Look for temperatures to gradually fall into the lower 60s by early tomorrow morning. Again, some fog forming overnight, but tomorrow skies will turn partly sunny, and that will warm us up to around 83. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. A committee in DeForest is deciding the fate of its chief of police tonight.
DeForest Chief Dan Furseth is accused of making racist comments on video. Our Keely Arthur is live at Village Hall and shares what she knows ahead of tonight's meeting. Keely?
Well, Furseth offered to resign in June, but then rescinded his offer. Tonight, the village board is meeting here to discuss how to proceed, and that could include a possible termination of Furseth down the road. Now, in May of this year, a video posted on YouTube in 2015 surfaced. It showed Furseth mocking a group of black men. Furseth was put on paid administrative leave and offered a severance package, which he declined. Tonight, the village board will decide if they should recommend Furseth be terminated by the police commission. Now, earlier today, other chiefs in the area and leaders put out a statement saying they condemn racism in any form. Some of those people will be here tonight, including the NAACP. We're going to speak to someone from that group at 5:30, and we will bring you what they have to say tonight on News 3 at 6. We'll also bring you live updates from this meeting on News 3 at 10 and on channel3000.com. Back to you.
Keely Arthur reporting live. Keely, thank you.
Police in Janesville are waiting for the results of an autopsy report for a man found at the Rock River. Police found his body near the Centerway Dam yesterday afternoon. They say the man found dead was homeless. They haven't determined whether the death is suspicious, and an autopsy report is necessary to determine the cause of death.
An update in last week's double shooting in Beloit. Police say D'Angelo Thomas has been charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide and armed robbery. Beloit police say a tip led them to find a vehicle they believe belonged to Thomas. They say it was found just outside of Beloit and say they are working with police in other communities to try to locate Thomas. According to police, Thomas and another suspect were attempting to rob a 15-year-old boy. That's when a 41-year-old man tried to stop it. Police say Thomas then shot both the 41-year-old and the 15-year-old. Police have been looking for Thomas since last Wednesday. And amidst that search, police and other first responders are preparing for National Night Out in Beloit tonight.
More than a dozen locations in Beloit are set to celebrate a night of community, including just a block away from that shooting location. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us at our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with what's planned for tonight. Adam.
National Night Out is a night for all first responders to have an opportunity to communicate with their community. It's going to happen all across Wisconsin, including in Janesville, Madison, and of course, Beloit. As a part of the National Night Out in Beloit, police will be traveling to different areas of the Beloit community for different block parties and celebrations. Police say it's important that the community spends time engaging with them in a fun, safe setting, but also that tonight is about neighbors getting to know one another.
As generations have progressed, unfortunately, some neighbors don't even know who's living right beside them. And this helps encourage people to get in contact with each other.
Year nationally, and stay tuned. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more from police as they're responding, of course, to that suspect in the double shooting, how they are dealing with that, as well as planning with National Night Out, as well as at 6 we'll hear from some of the people planning a block party for tonight in Beloit.
Adam Duxter reporting live from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette. Thank you. Well, Democrats running in the primary are firing back at Governor Scott Walker tonight after he held a news conference today criticizing the entire field of candidates for their stance on reducing the state's prison population. Walker's campaign event at the Milwaukee Police Association headquarters said that Democrats running for governor have said that they would reduce the state's prison population by half, in part by letting out those with low-level drug crimes. Walker maintains that to release that many criminals would require them to release those who have committed violent offenses.
I got to tell you, as long as I'm governor, we're going to make sure that violent criminals serve the entire sentence that they were given by the court. And I want
We are sharing responses from all of the Democrats in the field tonight. And Malin Mitchell saying that he'll take multiple steps to end mass incarceration, including ending the state's truth in sentencing law. Gilda Roy said, quote, "I refuse to be lectured on how to repair our broken criminal justice system by the failed governor who helped break it, and said it was ridiculous that she'd make the state less safe." Tony Evers said the state spends more money on corrections than the UW system, and that he'd get smarter on crime by investing in drug courts and rehabilitation. Paul Soglin called Walker flippant and disgenerous, and he said that there are people who have paid for their misdeeds that should be released. Josh Page said that his campaign has not said that violent criminals should be released and that he wants to work on reforms. Mike McCabe said the state should not be locking up nonviolent offenders and emphasized sentencing alternatives, highlighting Minnesota's example. Kathleen Weinhold pointed to Minnesota as well and said their prison population was half of Wisconsin. Excuse me, and a spokesman for Matt Flynn said that he was concerned about this issue and was focused on non-violent marijuana offenses. And we are taking a closer look at the candidates in the Republican primary race for U.S. Senate this evening.
That primary 1 week from today, and the winner will face off against Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin in November. Our Rose Schmidt is in the newsroom with more background on the candidates vying for Baldwin's seat. Rose?
Well, Mark and Susan, Kevin Nicholson and Leah Vukmir have spent much of their time criticizing Senator Baldwin instead of each other. Kevin Nicholson calls himself a political outsider. He's a Marine Corps veteran, businessman, and father of 3. He lives in Delafield. Now, Leah Vukmir is a mom with a cause from Brookfield. She's a nurse and has been elected to the state assembly and state senate. Vukmir is backed by the state's Republican Party, and Nicholson has been getting strong support from groups like Wisconsin Club for Growth. Each are making the case that they would be the best to take on Baldwin in November.
Because I'm the proven, consistent conservative. I haven't just talked about being a conservative. I can actually show you, based on my record, I'm a strong, feisty mom with a cause who has stood up for our values and our principles here in Wisconsin.
Well, it's going to take an outsider to win, to beat Tammy Baldwin, to be sure. And again, my body of life's work, right, from my time in business to my time in the Marine Corps fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, my time as a husband and a father, it's built out a life where I've challenged myself, I've put myself through the paces so I actually learned how to solve the real big problems.
Vukmir and Nicholson do agree on a lot of issues, though, including immigration and building a wall at the southern border, and supporting President Trump's tariff and trade policies. The Democratic opponent, Tammy Baldwin, has served as a U.S. Senator since 2013. She was the first openly gay person elected to the U.S. House. She's from Madison and previously served in the state assembly. We'll have more on what you need to know about the Republican candidates, though, tonight on News 3 at 6.
We will see you then. Thank you, Rose. Crews say the County Highway P construction project in Cross Plains is ahead of schedule. The construction project is a two-pronged approach, which involves replacing all of the utilities underneath, including sewer and water mains, and adding curbs and gutters. Although the project is ahead of schedule, crews have a few reminders for drivers.
It's still a very active work site. There's going to be a lot of equipment, a lot of workers around here. So for their safety, for your own safety, please obey all the traffic signs. The detour route is still in effect.
Crews are anticipating that the project will be done just before Labor Day.
Well, travelers are now going to be able to take direct flights from Madison to Phoenix. Frontier Airlines is adding the new service on November 17th. There'll be 2 weekly nonstop flights to Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Flights will depart out of Madison on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Officials with the airport said tickets became available today. There's more to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, the trial for former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort is underway. What Rick Gates is saying about Manafort.
Plus, thousands of people in California are still evacuated as more than a dozen wildfires continue to burn across the state.
And a positive day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials and S&P 500 all up, as well as the NASDAQ. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The trial for former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort is underway, and star witness Rick Gates testified today.
Gates says he repeatedly submitted fake financial documents at the behest of his boss, Paul Manafort. Gates also said the former Trump campaign chairman voiced concerns that he was paying too much in taxes and later that his funds were drying up. Gates told jurors how he helped Manafort convert foreign income into loans as a way to reduce his tax bill. He says he later helped draft sham loan agreements and loan forgiveness letters.
There are 17 large wildfires burning across California today as 14,000 firefighters work to knock them down, and temperatures reaching into the triple digits. So far, the fires have killed at least 7 people and destroyed thousands of structures. The Holy Fire started Monday afternoon and is tearing through the Cleveland National Forest south of Los Angeles. Further north, the Mendocino Complex fire is now the largest in state history, and it is growing. It's already burned an area as large as the city of Los Angeles. CAL FIRE officials say it likely won't be contained until sometime next week. And the Ferguson fire has been burning since July 13th, forcing the National Forest Service to close Yosemite National Park.
26. It's been a long stress, but we're really happy where we are today.
Triple-digit temperatures and brush left from years of drought are fueling the fires. Forecasters say relief could come with cooler temperatures, but not until this weekend.
Boy, that video is
It's
just
yeah,
devastating.
It's amazing.
Let's take a look outside on our weather patio now. Gary's watching the forecast. Is it no rain out there right now? That's a good thing. Hi, Gary.
Yeah, no, it looks like it could rain, and the humidity is here. It feels like it could rain, but right now, not a lot of precipitation out there. In fact, let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. You can see there are some thunderstorms that have been building up to our west across Minnesota and northeastern Iowa, but they're moving into an area that's been covered by clouds for much of the day. Temperatures are a little cooler here, so those showers and storms are already weakening as they push toward southwestern Wisconsin. The showers that we had earlier today didn't amount to very much. They've now moved eastward of Milwaukee, but you can see a few flashes of lightning just to the east of La Crosse. So a few showers, perhaps a thunderstorm, a possibility, mainly this evening. I think by about 9 or 10 o'clock, most of the precipitation should be winding down. Live view from the Queeby Radio Skycam in Platteville shows a little sunshine mixed in with the clouds there. The WISC Skycam looking out toward the west also shows some sunshine there, but for the most part, skies are mostly cloudy. Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison looking toward the west shows mostly cloudy skies. As we check out our almanac for today, high temperature only made it to 73 thanks to the cloud cover. Low temperature right at the average at 60, and right now we're sitting at 73 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy. Winds are out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Dew point temperature is still pretty high at 65 degrees. Tropical weather track shows Hurricane Hector continuing as a powerful hurricane out in the Pacific Ocean, starting to approach the Hawaiian Islands. Latest information from the National Hurricane Center, top winds right now about 130 miles per hour, so a Category 3-4 hurricane right on the line there, moving to the west at 14 miles per hour. Forecast path will still take it south of the Hawaiian Islands, but winds will still maintain pretty strong strength up to a Category 2 hurricane over the next couple of days as it passes well south of the Hawaiian Islands. Fortunately for them, it looks like the worst of the weather should be to their south. Current temperatures across the Midwest generally are held down because of cloud cover. 60s, 70s, a couple of places hitting the 80s where there's a little bit of sunshine mixed in, but you can see on weather track the jet stream almost right over us, so it's moving these bands of showers and a few thunderstorms on through. Then there's a break out to the west of us, so we should see some sunshine returning for tomorrow, and that'll warm us up. Notice the west coast. Dry as a bone there, and that's not helping the wildfire situation any at all. Weak area of low pressure across eastern Iowa will pass to our south. That'll take most of the moisture east of us later on tonight, but the humidity levels will still stay fairly high for the next couple of days. And notice the temperatures, 70s here, but 80s and 90s out to the west of us. I think we'll see temperatures back into the lower 80s by tomorrow and perhaps mid-80s by Thursday. And the dew point temperatures really don't show a big drop either. They're mainly in the 60s and 70s, so we will see the humidity levels stay fairly high. Tonight, any lingering showers and thunderstorms will end. We'll see some areas of fog late with a low temperature of 62. Tomorrow, partly sunny and warm. High temperature back up to 83, just getting the sunshine in here. On future track, you can see how quickly these showers and thunderstorms die out this evening. Look for areas of fog overnight with low temperatures in the lower 60s. Highs tomorrow, lower 80s with partly sunny skies. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low temperatures dropping into the middle 60s, and then back up into the middle to upper 80s. On Thursday, there is a chance for some showers and thunderstorms to pop up in the afternoon. You can see those there. As we take a look at the 7 to 10-day forecast, those temperatures remain on the warm side through the weekend. Look for high temperatures in the middle 80s. Humidity levels might come down a little bit toward the end of the weekend, but there are signs that temperatures should bounce back perhaps into the upper 80s toward the end of next week, with some shower and thunderstorm chances in the Tuesday-Wednesday time period. As we take a look at first alert traffic, Beltline is the problem spot today. This is the live view from the traffic camera from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation to Fitch-Hatchery Road. Starting to improve a little bit, but there still are some slowdowns, especially in the eastbound direction from around Monona Drive all the way back to Verona Road. Some delays northbound on Highway 12 heading out of Middleton. The usual types of delays that we see this time of day. 22 minutes right now on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. 17 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 28 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990. 19 minutes out to Sauk City on US 12 and 17 minutes out to Sun Prairie on US 151 East Washington Avenue. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Ahead on News 3 at 5, factory workers across America are using new wearable technology they hope will help them lighten the load when they're working. We'll have that story when we come back.
News.
Well, Ford Motor Company is unveiling its plan to use wearable technology to lighten the load on some of its human workers.
Exoskeleton vests are being introduced in 15 auto plants in 7 countries. They're meant to protect workers from repetitive stress injuries. Chris Van Cleve reports.
For 6 years now, Nicholas Scott spends much of the day on the Ford Mustang assembly line, reaching up, hands in the air, and turning screws.
My gun is about a pound or two, but you lift it up 500 times a day.
But unlike most of the workers at Ford's Flat Rock plant, Gotts gets a little extra boost.
They call me Rocket Man or Superman all the time, or Mr. Incredible.
It's an exoskeleton that helps maintain good posture, adding up to 15 pounds of support to each arm when it's raised up.
Wearing the suit, I'm not, oh, I'm tired. I can go home and have fun, go play catch with the daughter. Quality of life is a lot better with the suit.
Exoskeletons date back to at least the 1960s when General Electric developed this giant prototype for the military, and they've shown promise in helping people with spinal cord injuries walk. Analysts expect the exoskeleton market to grow from $68 million in 2014 to $1.8 billion in 2025.
Here at Boeing's Charleston, South Carolina plant, they've been evaluating suits like this one for the last couple of years and have found some real benefit to the workers. In fact, the company believes the day could come that this suit is essentially just part of what workers wear when they're building airplanes. Fire in the hole.
Structure mechanic Tyrone Washington showed us how it works at the plant's training center.
All day, you're talking anywhere from 500 to 1,000 fasteners joining the crown.
That's a lot of lifting.
It's a lot of lifting.
Even at 8 pounds.
Even at 8 pounds.
Not every worker who builds a Ford like these Mustangs will end up in one of these suits. Some jobs just don't require them, but they are going to become a lot more common on the line. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Flat Rock, Michigan.
Use that around here.
He looks like a superhero. Another check of the weather when we come back.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, we will take you inside the largest fire in California's history. Get a unique glimpse of autopilot technology, including a look at the risks uncovered in a new highway study. And this woman lent a stranger money to pay for snacks. The stranger turned out to be a huge country music star. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
That story's getting a lot of attention.
Yes, it is.
All right, so maybe a shower or two.
Well, take a look at the radar. You can see a few showers and thunderstorms out there, but they're pretty widely scattered. Otherwise, look for temperatures to be back in the 80s beginning tomorrow and lasting right through next week. Summer.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. I hope to see you back here for News 3 at 6.